All right, you guys. So, more layoffs in 2025. It doesn't seem like the layoffs are easing. If anything, they're accelerating and increasing. And it seems like over the past week, well into this week, I keep meeting on average about two people a day that have been laid off. And today I ran into someone that I knew, an acquaintance, that got laid off from their job of 27 years. I mean, for those of you that think that because you're in a senior or high level position, or you've been loyal for your company, institute, or organization for so long that you are safe, you are not. Times have changed. We are moving more and more towards getting rid of people in jobs and replacing them with automation or AI. And this is going to be brutal. Whether AI is a bubble or not and it's overhyped, overmarketed, which to a certain extent it is, it doesn't change the fact that it's replacing quite a bit of a lot of jobs that have been around for a very very long time. And yeah, it's scary. It's scary. And I mean, I always say I'm extremely blessed and lucky that I've managed to sort myself out decades ago. But for those of you that are out there that are still working a 9 to 5, thinking that you're going to always be there or it's always going to pay out and that's going to take care of your retirement, I think you need a wake up call. You need a wake up call more than ever before. You need to really take control of your own life. You need to take full ownership of your life and your income and how you dictate living your life. Because right now, your life, your income, your ability to do what you want is in the hands of institutions or in the hand of another man or woman. And you need to change that. And it's not going to happen overnight, to be realistic with you. You're going to have to sit down, put a plan, go through it, prepare to fail, prepare for rejection, prepare for mistakes, pick yourself up, and go at it again until something does work out, which majority of people that go into entrepreneurship experience this. But you need to do it more than ever. You cannot afford to be passive. You cannot afford to rely on anything else outside of yourself. Because, yeah, the way the future is going to be, it's going to be for those that are building things for themselves, not necessarily helping others build things. So just something to be cognizant of, because like I said, it's just more and more layoffs. And the layoffs aren't limited to those in junior positions anymore or middle management. You even have C suite now getting laid off. So everyone is scared. Everyone is going to be looking for a scapegoat to keep their job a bit longer and delay the inevitable. So that's another thing you got to be careful about, is that as these layoffs accelerate, it is literally going to become the Hunger Games. It's going to become the survival of the fittest. And the person that's willing to stoop the lowest when it comes to morality, ethics, and values is the one that's going to, win out. Because unfortunately, in situations like these, everything goes out of the window. Rational logic, it's intensely emotionally driven, and people do what they can to just, preserve themselves. Yeah, you guys out there, consider this a friendly warning that you need to figure your life out for yourself. Um, You can't really rely anymore on anything outside of yourself, and you need to sort out this out as soon as possible, because it's increasingly gonna be everybody for themselves, um, and it's gonna be chaotic moving forward. But like I said, I'm an optimist, not a pessimist. So I want to help you guys out, for those of you that are going through this situation, that it's not all hopeless and bleak, and you're not helpless, okay? If you've managed to carry out a job for someone else to help them out with whatever they're doing, then you just need to reframe that into you becoming an employee of yourself to take care of you. Okay, so you already have the skill set, you already have the abilities, you already have the patience, the perseverance, and the grit. It's already been developed. So now you just have to redirect it to serve you versus someone else. So make sure that you sit down, create a plan, and most importantly, because having been in that position, having been laid off before, having been fired, the it's very easy to become anxious and panic and worry about what you're gonna do, how you're gonna take care of yourself. So the number one thing I will say is that have an optimistic, cheerful attitude, but most importantly, be your own point of origin, meaning that if you got laid off and you're starting to interview for other jobs again, you're going to run into judgments because you got laid off. People are going to basically try to capitalize on your misery by basically undercutting you in pay because they know you need the money. So, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to really have a good grasp on an understanding of who you are, what your value is, and what your value system is, and what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to reject. Okay? This is very important because as you start interviewing again for work in the short term while you build out your business, or if you decide even to go straight away into your own business, you're going to run into people that will value you differently. And to put this into context, when you go to the grocery store to buy a bottle of water, you can get it, let's say, for $2 or $3. But that same exact bottle of water will cost you $7 to $9 at the airport. Moral of the story is you are exactly the same person, but you are valued differently based on where you are. So go where you are valued more. Okay? Someone values you at $3, someone else values you at $9. Go to the person that values you at $9. Okay? So yeah, just food for thought there in terms of how you want to tackle this. Stay cheerful, stay optimistic. Be your own point of origin. Make sure that now while you have the opportunity to really spend time with your support network. So that could be your family, close friends. If you don't have a support network, honestly, just self-parent yourself. Like, just take good care of yourself, prep yourself up, speak positively to yourself, and just really build yourself up to prepare to what's to come, right? Because right now, it's not really the end, nor have you failed, because you are now moving into a new chapter. One door closed, there's going to be a lot of other doors that will open for you. And trust me when I say that, the first time you ever get laid off or fired, it feels like your world is coming to an end. But by the sixth or seventh time, like I had to go through, you're just like, you become desensitized to it, and you know that it's not the end of the world. Like, there's someone out there that's willing to work with you, someone that will value your expertise. And this is really crucial because having this mindset is going to be the difference between you making money again as soon as possible or ending up procrastinating and not making money. And then it becomes a very, spiral, a downward spiral, right? Because at some point you do need that proof to yourself that you are capable of taking care of yourself. Okay? So that is something you need to pay attention to. Also, just make sure that whatever skill sets you've had before, when you do go out there to market yourself, be it for a new job or for a business opportunity, that you're really customizing those skill sets to your target audience. So whoever is meeting you to give you work, try to customize your experience to what is it that they do and their field and discipline. Because the thing about people out there is that everyone understands work from their point of view. So you can go into an interview or a business meeting and you basically explain what is it you do and the value you bring. But if you're not speaking the language of the person you're meeting or interviewing you from their point of view and world on how they do work, you could be the best fit for the job and the best candidate, but you're not going to get the job because they didn't really understand what you're saying. So you need to put effort into understanding your audience and really customizing your approach to how you're going to pitch to that audience. And the last thing I can give you as a tip is the market is big on impact, okay? So you need to really speak to the impact you've had in previous roles. And most importantly, you need to communicate the projected impact you're going to have into the role you're moving into, okay? So that could be either reducing costs, increasing revenue, increasing customer satisfaction. So a lot of these things are important to employers and they will set you apart, because most people come in and they are just talking about their day-to-day operational tasks, which most businesses don't really care about anymore nowadays because a lot of the stuff is automated or a software handles it. So it's not going to set you apart from anybody else. Instead, you want to focus more on how you being in an organization made it more money or reduced its expenses or helped with gaining more customers or making the customers happier. So these are the things that will really make you stand out, and you'll be surprised there's a lot of people that don't focus on these things and then they stay in the market for so long, not being able to find work. And the other thing I will say though this time around, just to add another tip here, is the same way employers are selective of who they hire for cultural fit or based on likability, do that too with the people you are interviewing with. Don't just accept the first offer you get or the first business deal, because you can go in and do everything right and do the job right, and still people will screw you over just because they don't like you on a personal level for whatever reason. Maybe you're too pretty or handsome. Maybe you're very fit and healthy looking. Maybe you are, attractive and people gravitate towards you. Jealousy and envy is on steroids when it comes to business deals, work and making money. So take care of that. Like, if you're going to offer your services, try to offer them to people that are your tribe. Okay. So look for people that you vibe with. Obviously, the assumption here is that you're not in a very tight squeeze for money, so you can take a bit of time. if you can afford to do that, do that, because not only are you going to have more longevity when it comes to money making moving forward, but also you got to understand that jobs don't just cost you knowledge and time, they cost you energy, they cost you your mental health and your physical health. And the more aligned you are with people that are more or less the same like you're going to have a much better experience. And believe it or not, you're going to make more money. Okay. This is why companies, and I hate this because it's so discriminatory, which is ironic because it goes against the discriminatory policies a lot of institutions have. But some companies will do these surveys where they measure your basically behavioral, critical thinking skills, and all of that. What it is really, they're filtering out for neurodivergent people. Now, what are they doing when they're filtering out for neurodivergent? They basically have a profile of what the perfect employee from their standpoint looks like. Someone that's submissive, compliant, willing to work very long hours, willing to take abuse pretty much, right? So when they do these exercises, they're filtering out people that, let's say, could be dominant, having a strong character, having leadership qualities, especially if you're not applying for a leadership position. And basically, they are discriminating against people, which is ironic because a lot of these institutions have a diversity program, uh, which is intended not to do that. So you need to do the same when you are screening clients for your business or looking to join an organization as an employee. Basically, in sales, we call this qualification, right? You are trying to see if this client or institution is a good fit for your offering, if they have the money to pay you. That's another thing. And honestly, the last bit, which is what I was saying, is on a personality level, is that someone you really want to work with or extend your services or product to? Because you don't have to be miserable while working. I'm not really sure where that idea of work doesn't have to be fun and it's just work. Like, listen, I get it if you're doing something you don't want to do, but you really don't have to. It's 2025. There's so many venues to make money. You just have to put in the effort and do things, right? So you don't have nowadays to do something you don't want to, although we are sliding slowly but surely towards that direction again. So that window is closing by. And a lot of people are going to end up in that position again if they're not already are. So pick the people you want to work with. So this way you actually get to thrive rather than just being in survival mode the whole time. Okay? All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Hopefully this has been helpful to some of you guys out there. If it is, consider subscribing to the channel, giving me a thumbs up, and turning on the bell notification button so you are aware when I do upload. Feel free to leave a comment below. I do have a link to my Calendly in the description box for those of you interested in working one-on-one with me with respect to self-improvement and subject matter such as this upload. Feel free to book your slot and I'll take it from there with you. Otherwise, very much appreciate your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.